Hi, my name is Gabe. I'm one of the students here in Intro to Apologetics. And upon reading through the introduction in Apologetics at the Cross and considering those four different perspectives or views on apologetics, I feel like the one that resonated with me the most was historical development. I know for me, I considered the other three. I had always thought about philosophy, but it never really grasped me as much as evidence did. And I also looked at, viewing things biblically and theologically, but I feel like for me personally, I had took them and believed them, but I wanted to kind of get inside the mind of an unbeliever who has a lot of contradictions that they think are in Scripture. So for me, I've always thought about the historical development. I've always asked hard questions like Noah's Ark was something that always confused me. I was always like, what evidence do we have that it happened? And how did all of those animals get on the boat and were, due to not macro but micro evolution, were those animals even the same back then as they are now? And questions like that. A guy I would love to call him a mentor, but I've only met him once and I don't know him personally, but a guy I look up to in apologetics is Frank Turek, and he says that if the first verse in the Bible is true, that God created the heavens and the earth, then everything else in Scripture is at least plausible. And that was something that really gave me a good foundation in pursuing, knowing that all things are possible, because I know that first verse is true. And of course, I believe the rest of it is true. But knowing then that I can kind of have this freedom to explore historical evidence and then use that to, and then even when I don't find it, to still know that if I believe that first verse is true, then the rest of it is plausible and believable. And I was just reading an article about how, back on how I think that historical development is the thing that resonates with me the most. I just read an article in Answering Genesis that the Tel Dan stele was discovered, and then it dated from anywhere to 900 to 850 BC, and it made references to the house of David, which affirms, the kingship of David, and had kind of put to rest a lot of the theories that a lot of skeptics had that David was a mythical figure in history. And so things like that are what make me feel solid. Feels like it's a lot of ammunition in a way when I'm having conversations with people who are trying to disprove the Bible to me, to be able to have, facts like that to bring up and have fruitful conversations and try to get them to consider that, yes, the Christian walk is a walk by faith, but it is not just blind faith where we don't actually see or understand that any of this could be true and we have no evidence for it to be true. I think historical development is what gives us some of the evidence that, all the stories in the Bible and the whole creation story and Christianity as a whole is truth, and that it really happened. So that's my input on why I think historical development is the one thing that resonates with me the most.